I don't even know if I should talk about this. After my experience, at least I know what I don't want now. Straight A's was honestly not worth my sanity sometimes. So scared of joining the track team. Don't talk behind people's backs, guys. Don't think people would post them crying online. Because high school is not just about straight A's. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I'm a graduating senior. I have my grad ceremony in 4 days and I've just been debriefing for the past few days, and I feel like this video is going to be helpful if you're in high school. So now let's get started. The first tip that I have is to stay organized within your system. So to be honest, I try to be a very organized person because that just makes me feel safe. And for most of the time, I would use the Google Calendar just to write down my thoughts. And if you guys want to check a sample over here, I also have a color for each course, so it helps me to not forget if there's a test, because that's gonna be bad if I didn't study. I would always try to study like 4 days before the test because I'm not a cramming person, and I think it's very important to have your own system. And it's also important to remember that everybody will work differently, so don't compare your schedule to other people's. And I know some people work really well by cramming, but I'm not that type of person, so I like to keep a schedule. And for busier days, I have this little schedule that my mom bought me. It was on sale and it has little cats on it, which is super cute. So I don't use this all the time. I only use it if there's like a week that I'm super busy or I really need to dump my stuff on a piece of paper. So let's have a sample week of when I'm very busy. So for example, for February, I had a lot of stuff. So I would just list them down on this column and I would have some other notes on this column. So for example, I wrote be mindful of what you're consuming, which is I'm also going to talk about later, and sleep earlier than 11 p.m. So it's just little notes that I have for myself. And of course I don't use this all the time, and I don't think you should be pressured to have a list every single day. If sometimes you just want a rest day, you can just take it, and I think it's very important as well to be very flexible with your schedule. So I also have an app that I used a lot in junior year, and it's called Notion, if you guys haven't heard of it. I know it's pretty popular and I think you can split it into sections, so it's actually very useful if you want to stay organized. So a second very important tip is to say yes to more things. And honestly, I do regret not joining more teams in my school, but I think it's really important to join the clubs, join the meetings, and join the teams in your school. Also, don't be afraid to try new things. So I actually had a part-time job during the summer before senior year, and that was literally a very good 2 months of my life because I got to meet so many great co-workers, and I was an arts counselor, so it was sometimes kind of hard dealing with the kids, honestly, because you get drained at the end of the day. But the experience, I would personally say, is so good, and I think everybody should experience more things. So in grade 10, I got rejected to be an executive for a club. I think it was a science club or something. So then I was like, okay, if I can't be an executive, I'm just gonna make my own club. So I created my school's biology club, which is still running now. I hope they're doing fine after me and Lauren graduates. I'm very proud of that, and I think you guys should try to join the clubs that interest you so you have a very fulfilled high school experience. Please join the teams, guys. I remember when I was in grade 11, I was so scared of joining the track team, and I don't know why I was scared, and it was really nice. I met some new friends, and I think if you want to do something, just don't hesitate and go do it, because you don't want to regret later and think about, oh, why didn't I join that? Or why didn't I try that? Because sometimes we just need a little more courage. So I was in my high school basketball team for 4 years, and it was truly a wonderful experience. I'm really gonna miss my teammates a lot, but I'm gonna place it over here. And the memories are really, really worth it. I used to think that grades are very important and participating in those activities are not, and I was so wrong. Because many of your memories come from those activities and it's never too late to join them. I also did a lot of volunteering during high school, so I really think that you should make the most of your experiences in high school, and you also get to know more people. So don't be scared and just join those teams, guys. Moving on to the third most important point, I think it's to be mindful of what you're consuming, especially on social media. So for example, I remember when I was chronically on my phone in grade 9, I think it was grade 10. I don't remember, but I remember when you have like long periods of scrolling, I really have a mental fog and I don't even have motivation to do the work that I placed aside. So, and also like online you see everybody living their best lives. We really see people struggling because I personally don't think people would post them crying online. And so I think it's very important to have alternatives to rest instead of scrolling on social media. Alternatives can be going on walks, talking to a friend, or just petting your cat. I have 3, so I pet them all the time. So a very useful tip is to limit your screen time. So we can use like the screen time app they have on your phone. And you can also download some of them. So also find some time to stay completely off social media. For example, when I was in a very, very busy stage in senior year, I think it was in March, where the acceptances are not coming and then everything's uncertain, especially my marks. So I would just delete all the social media apps on my phone and just leave 1 or 2. And I would also screen time limit them, so then I can still stay in contact with my friends but not become too obsessed. So another tip can be just simply having them on your computer or somewhere that's harder to get to. For example, I used to delete Instagram from my phone a few months ago, but I still have Instagram on my computer. So I can still reach my friends and I can still check when I want to, but it's more intentional. So there is a difference between being intentional about your screen time and being unintentional. Everyone moves at different paces and comparison is just a thief of joy. So don't compare yourself to others online. And everything, the content you're absorbing online is only one in so many people in the world, right? That's what I tell myself. So the next tip I want to talk about is let friendships flow naturally. I used to have a very hard time accepting that my best friend has her own friends. And it might sound kind of funny to you guys, but that's how before me thought about that. And sometimes when friendships fade, I would feel very sad, and sometimes the more I try to hold on to them, it didn't eventually work out that much. So I think letting things flow naturally is the best solution. However, this doesn't mean that if they don't contact you, you don't contact them. That's not how it works. I think if you have feelings, if you miss them, I'm a very expressive person, so I would just straight up tell them, can we go hang out? I really miss you. And I think that's very important to express yourselves instead of hiding everything in your heart. And also, I always have transparent communication with my friends to avoid like the misunderstandings and drama. So whenever there's a little bit of conflict or misunderstanding, I would immediately text them and call them about it so the thing gets resolved very quickly. And also a very, very, very important tip is don't talk behind people's backs, guys. Because we never know what the whole situation is, and I don't find a point in talking behind people's backs, because why would you do that? I don't think there's any more explanation I should give, but don't talk behind people's backs. So the next very important tip I want to talk about is dating and prioritizing yourself. I don't even know if I should talk about this, but I've had dating experiences in high school, and I know a lot of people do and a lot of people don't as well. And I don't think dating is like necessarily a bad thing. It can teach you a lot about yourself, but it's not something that you should rush into. So after my experience, at least I know what I don't want now. So see, that's a gain. So for me, I think it's very important to know your values and your worth. If you think that your values are being prioritized and you feel like you're not becoming a better version of yourself, then don't forget that the most important thing is choosing your peace, and you should never feel guilty about it or feel bad about choosing yourself. Looking back, I think that I stayed in situations longer than I should be just because I was afraid to let go. But I was not really becoming a better version of myself. So don't forget to prioritize yourself. And also, a very big mental tip I want to give you guys is to stop overthinking and trust yourself. Because I am a huge overthinker, and before the results would even come out, I would think I didn't do that well. So this one time for an English essay, I was crying to my chemistry teacher about it because I don't think I would do well. But I got a very good mark. So I think it's very important to have trust in yourself. I would always make up a whole storyline in my mind that's not even real. So guys, be confident with your decisions because overthinking really drains a lot of your mental energy. And I think when there's like problems that you can't solve yourself, always talk to a teacher or talk to people that you trust so they can help you. Last one, study tips if you need them. As someone that mostly got straight A's in high school, I think a very important one is doing active recall instead of rereading and doing your notes. Because honestly, there's nothing goes into my brain when I just read the notes. However, if I ask questions and teach biology concepts to my plushies or my pet, poor pet, or I grab my younger brother, it would always work better than just rereading the notes. A very important strategy for biology and those concepts hard ones is using flashcards because they can test you on your knowledge. I don't use flashcards though for every unit, so it's very important to be flexible with your things and not spend too much time on a strategy that doesn't really work that well. So as someone who have a hard time sitting there for 30 minutes, I use the tomato method. I don't know how to pronounce the word pyramidal. Is that how you pronounce it? But if you study for 25 minutes and then you just stand up, no scrolling, and just walk around for 5 minutes and just take a break, drink some water, it's really gonna help you reset your mental energy. It's also very important to take breaks during exam season as well. So during this exam season, every single evening I would go out for a 30 to 1 hour walk. It doesn't have to be that long. But for me, I just find it very relaxing, so I'm not that stressed at all. Straight A's was honestly not worth my sanity sometimes. So it's so important to also have fun and hang out with your friends and family because high school is not just about straight A's. And I think that's very important. Okay, that was a lot of talking from my side. This is the first time I did a sit-down video, so if you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in another video.